teachers of Reddit, what is the stupidest reason a kid has told on someone else? Teacher. Taylor's face is making me sick, and he won't look away from me. Stop looking at him, and take your damn nap. Thomas has never heard such bullshit before. He said a bad word, I'm standing right next to him, and I didn't hear anything. Well, I can read his mind. I mean, how do you prove someone isn't telepathic? What am I thinking of? Llamas? How did you know? When I was a substitute teacher, a kid told on me to the principal. I had made the OK sign with my hand at about chest level. This is the same sign that, if placed below the waist and someone sees, they get to punch you. This kid told the principal she thought I was going to punch her. Reminds me of the 14Y. Kid who complained to the principal that I put him in the corner. He was moved to an empty desk closer to the corner of the room than his original seat because he wouldn't shut the duck up when he was near people. I clarified that he was not forced to stand in the corner, but was asked to move seats. She asked if I'd used the words "the corner" when asking him to move, and I said I had, as a reference to the general location of the empty seat. She then told me that I couldn't use the word "corner" while moving a child, because of course he would see it as a cruel punishment. I looked her dead in the eye and said, fine. If he needs to be moved again, I'll be sure to point him in the direction of the empty seat that is located closest to the place where two walls meet to form a 90-degree angle. Kid was crazy. Principal was crazier. Fine. If he needs to be moved again, I'll be sure to point him in the direction of the principal's office. This is the correct response. In 2nd grade, my friend told the Gilbert Tattletale that he was a snitch, and the kid stood right up out of his desk and yelled to the teacher he called me a snitch. I am not a snitch, and my friend said you're doing it right now. Stupid. And it was all during a silent reading time, and it was super quiet up until that point. What did the teacher do? She made all the boys stay inside during recess, since we caused all the issues in Gilbert, and tried to find a way we could talk our problems out. Just imagine trying to get a bunch of bad but 2nd graders to have heart-to-hearts. Tim, when you say that about me, it makes me feel like punching you in the head. When I was in the 3rd grade, people treated me like a criminal because I killed somebody. Little girls runs up to me at recess and says another girl called her the C word. I was thinking, oh no, not the C word. I explained that she was just going to have to tell me exactly what the other girl called her. She said she called her coochie. Not at all what I was thinking. I had a kid say their friend said the Q word. I never did get to the bottom of what he meant. He took a pen from the drawer and not a pencil. This was after I told my 17-year-old students to grab a pencil and paper because we were going to do notes that day. I have no rules about pens not being used. I just didn't say the more generic writing utensil. And the student who tattled wasn't on the spectrum and wasn't normally super literal. 17. For the love of God. I hope they were joking about that. Hahaha. The amount that 17-year-olds and 7-year-olds are the same would surprise so many people. I love my high schoolers, but they have some days where I really think, oh god, you drive cars. You will be legally an adult in a few months. The world is completely doomed. I got this feeling very often when watching Michael Badmits. Same here. I can't believe how much people can be stupid. 4th grade. She's looking at me. Every time I look over, she's looking at me. I think that's called a crush. They were more frenemies. Roommates. And they were roommates. I remember one time in my old primary school, I had this odd obsession with Phineas and Ferb, and decided it would be a good idea to try making platypus noises one time. Little did I know, from outside my perspective, it looked like I was trying to come onto a bunch of little kids about 2 years behind me. Long story short, I was a stupid butt kid. This has to be one of the best things I have seen on Reddit. Me-ice. The girl in front of me in the line won't stop saying mint. He was correct. She was indeed repeating the word mint. I had a student, 2nd grade, that would stick her tongue out just a little when she was concentrating. One day during silent reading, another kid came to tell me she was being rude to him. I explained she wasn't, and it was just something she did when she was thinking really hard. His response was, "Well, I don't like it." To which I replied, "Well then don't look at her." He was all kinds of upset but stopped complaining. Good life lesson, though. Too many people never get this lesson. Teaching 4th grade, I had to deal with an inconsolably crying child attempting to explain some traumatic event he was dealing with. Turns out Brian had said that Roblox was bad. Another time teaching year 2, I had to move a child away from a group of girls as they were calling him gay. After moving him and having serious words with the group, I noticed him sitting back on the mean girls table. Reason? He needed his peach crayon. I don't blame the dude. How are you gonna draw people without a peach crayon? I honestly can't remember what they were drawing. I'm with him though. Seriously. Why should he suffer if mean girls are mean? But they are so fetch. Some cunt grabutted on me once in school for chanting my own name when 2 other kids were fighting. How'd that go? Got sent inside and made to look at a wall. I wasn't even fighting. The sweet smell of justice. Pick a side, dweeb. I did. My side. I'm not a teacher, but I did work in a school environment in the past, and I'll never forget the time a kid came up to me furiously upset that his friend stole his toy. Seems relatively fair, right? Until about 5 to 10 minutes later, when I finally calmed him down enough to discover that this supposed toy was an imaginary made up one. Really? Like you just can't imagine up a second one? Or a few hundred spares? Turns out imaginary toy politics are quite strict. I mean, I'd be pretty upset if somebody stole my friend. I was a summer camp counselor, 18 years old at the time. A boy, we'll call him Brian, about 13 to 14 years old, came up to another counselor and I almost crying. He complained younger kids, 4 to 5 boys about 10, 11 years old, were teasing him because of how he ran. Brian claimed, lied. His gym teacher told him humans run faster by not using their arms. We asked him if he could demonstrate his superior human ability and show us this run. He literally ran like a Naruto ninja and looked absolutely ridiculous. We had to fight hard to hold back the laughs. We told the younger kids to stop teasing him, but also suggested Brian, his gym teacher, may be wrong. Whatever you are picturing, magnify the insanity by 10. It was like he learned how to run watching only Napoleon Dynamite and Naruto. I teach 1st grade. I had 2 boys that loved to irritate one another. The one boy, L, kept saying trains, trains, trains over and over again. The other boy, B, kept telling him to stop it. L moved across the room and stared at B. B stared back, and then L yelled, "Do you know what I'm saying in my mind?" B interrupted my lesson yelling, "L won't stop thinking about trains." It took over 10 minutes to get them to knock it off. Longest year of my life. I like trains. Stop thinking about trains. For breathing too loudly. Grade 4. I wanted to just walk away for good. He was a vampire, scared JSE Hammond. This is a true story. These were 2 7th graders. A boy and girl. Girl. Sir, I don't like how this boy is looking at me, boy. I'm literally sitting at the back of the club, but the 2 were sitting at opposite ends of the club and couldn't make eye contact unless the girl completely turns around. Anyway, girl stabs the boy with a pencil and made him bleed like crazy. Girl stabs the boy with a pencil. Excuse me, what the fuck? That's fine, but to the point. Sorry, where hair's bleeding? From the pencil wound. Not a teacher, but when I was a kid I was in an argument with my best friend. He went home crying to his parents because I had called him a mighty maggot. His parents asked why I would call him that. Because I called him that first, he responded. Cue his dad calling me mighty maggot for the rest of our friendship. Edit. Spelling. Ed, consider the phrase mighty maggot a compliment, lol. Always thought it would be a good name for a metal band. Mighty Maggots. Kinda sounds like a Slipknot cover band. In 7th grade, I still had no idea what a swastika was. A Jewish friend was explaining it to me and had me draw it out. After I drew it in exact detail to what he said to do, he immediately got up and told the teacher I was drawing swastikas. I tried to erase it, but the damage was done. I got a week's detention on lunch for that shut, even after I explained what happened. In reading these stories about kids telling someone to do something and then telling on them, and I just have to say those type of kids are pussies. How about these ones? OMG, I'll tell on you, raise their hand, can I go to the bathroom? That's closer to a prank. Not a clever one though. I was that guy. Once a kid told the teacher I had say the word gross because someone sneezed on me. I was actually grounded by that teacher. What's wrong with all these teachers that freak out over normal words? Some people just like a reason to be mean to little kids. 2 4-year-old boys telling on each other. The first boy whines that he wanted space. The second boy turned to his mom and started throwing a fit. He loudly cried, "Mom, I want his space. Can I enter space? Can Poland enter space?" Not a teacher. When I was a kid, this was either the late 90s or early zeros. I was in music but, and one of the kids next to me leaned over and said, "Hey, say up the button around the corner." What? Say up the button around the corner. So, thinking it was funny, I said it. He immediately got up and told on me to the teacher. She made me come up and tried to make me repeat what I said. Not wanting to get in trouble, I refused to repeat myself, but she just kept asking me over and over to repeat what I said. So eventually I did. She wouldn't listen to anything I had to say about him telling me to say it. Got sent to the principal's office. That kid was a douche. I have a very similar story, it's crazy, but I was told to say MFA. Apparently in some world that's an abbreviation for mother ducking, but ended up having to get a paper signed at the end of every period by the teacher saying I was being a good boy. My best friend, at the time, pulled this shut on me. He whispered in my ear, "Say shut." I did. He told on me. I cried. "You clearly haven't learned your lesson." In primary school I was playing Duck Duck Goose, and I patted this guy's head. Since I thought that he was playing, he instantly starts crying and saying that I hit him super hard and that has got a really bad headache. He told my teacher, and I got yelled at for hitting another student. He went on to play for Arsenal. I'm a teacher, but no stories come to mind. However, when I was in first grade, my sworn enemy, yes, I had a sworn enemy in first grade, we mutually hated each other's guts, was telling Michael Badmits that I was picking my nose and eating it, then told the teacher the same. The teacher asked me if I was, and I denied it and started to cry because I said he was saying mean things about me. So she put the kid in the corner for telling fibs and spreading lies. The reality was, I was picking my nose and eating it. I just acted innocent so he could get in trouble. I swear, 50% of dealing with children is trying to figure out whether they are manipulating you. My son grew up watching Red Dwarf. I got a call from his second grade teacher that he had called Icklebadmatus Meghead. The teacher told me I don't even know what that means, but wanted to tell you about it. Did you ban your kid from watching Red Dwarf after that? Nope. Just told him not to call kids Megheads at school. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you want more videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. You are helping me a lot. Thanks again.